Next up on the team battle, we have a rivalry that I didn't know existed. Does it though? I mean, against our first team, the first team is everyone's rival just by way of location and them having Tom Brady in their city for like 15 years. I'm not at all biased when they blew their chances for Tom Brady's last Super Bowl and I was in Boston. I'm not at all biased. I'm not biased. I said I'm not biased. But coming all the way from New England, shout out to this team. We have PacRob, DANH, Peabody, Cardia, and CelAnima as the captain. Give it up for Team New England! New England, come.
Music.
As I know, I don't mind me.
We have chat over here, so you can turn.
1 second. We're doing it live! I gotta get the theme music. I'm responsible for the theme music. So by the way, every single team has their own theme music, their own walk-up music. I haven't listened to any of them.
Okay, right, so we have no idea what's about to play right now.
Oh.
I was wondering when the DDR song was going to come up.
The banger. Go ahead. Show some love to the camera.
We got some jamming out over there in front of the DDR pads.
This song rules, by the way.
It sure does.
All right. Enough of that. All right. By being from Ohio, I have the fortunate and unfortunate position of being sandwiched between not only the state that we're in, but this next team state, in which we are eternal rivals, but we love them to death. You know, Midwest pride, Midwest gang, Great Lakes gang. Coming all the way from Michigan. No.
Is that like Michigan plus Tennessee? It is 12:30.
Drink more of that coffee.
He's got to get his coffee. I guess I got to say the state name for him. From Michigan.
Oh, God. Okay. All right. This is fun, everybody. We're having fun. From Team Michigan, we have... You said what? Okay. We have HINTZ, Kinfante, RC1, Donk, Old Donk, and Malkier as the captain. Everyone, give it up for Team Michigan! Ooh, we got an original. Team Michigan, come with the original music. Go ahead and take the stage. Take the stage. Oh, the Malkier will be in the building with the thumbs down. The crazy work. All right, everyone, give it up for your next team battle. Team New England versus Team Michigan. Let's get it. This match we're going to have Peabody versus RC1. Starting off with Oversoul Expert, Midnight Amaretto Expert, Boss Rush Expert. They vetoed Blew My Mind Expert and Night of Nights Expert.
All right. So no 16 warm-up, but we are still warming up with a 15, which isn't much easier.
And it's a pretty good one. Oversoul, one of my favorite songs from that Sound Voltex crossover event.
Very fun chart.
Very fun chart. The sync to me this is like one of my songs that I love to use as like a high-level sync song.
Yes, the sync is spot on for this.
All right, and it looks like Peabody with a PFC of 60, and we have RC1 kind of touching the edge of a 99 right there. But as we said earlier on, no warm-ups have happened today. So it could kind of go either way. All right, here we go. They have locked in. Chat, first match of New England versus Michigan. Let's get this.
All right, so looks like a Peabody coming from the Massachusetts area, plays a Holyoke, and RC1, of course, from Team Michigan. Peabody says he fractured his femur as a toddler. Interesting. Doesn't seem to be affecting him much these days.
Not at all. Couldn't tell. Both of these players are sitting on a gold combo dead on after that freeze. All right, now we're going to go ahead and get into the triplet section. RC1 did pick up a miss right before that triplet section. Still plus 20 over his PB, so we're gonna see an up score almost for sure from RC1 if he keeps up this pace. Love to see it.
Looks like we're getting some team love in the chat here. Got some love for both sides. Chaotica voting saying go Peabody, and MCAT saying go RC1.
RC1 actually was up by about 2 right before that last freeze, so staying on Peabody.
Oh man,
right
they are right neck and neck. This is so close.
To the drill section.
Both of them just nailed that section. RC1 pulling ahead a little bit more, but this is still close enough that it could go to either one of them.
Dead on. We're still relatively close by about 12 points. RC1 still up.
All right, RC1's going to take that win. Got a, what, 15 EX lead or so? Real good showing from both of them.
Shout out to the up score. First up score. Massive up score of the day on the card. And just for those of you watching, you may say like, hey, this isn't something, this doesn't look right, this doesn't look like World or whatever. With this being Dave & Buster's, this is on an older version that still has network support, so it is pulling a lot of old records for some people.
So the scores you see might not be accurate in terms of what their most recent scores are.
Yes.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah, it might not be reflective of like what their actual skill set on some of these songs are, especially when some people, they don't have scores on them at all.
Sure.
This was a common occurrence that happened quite often with songs that weren't necessarily in parity, with arcades that weren't in parity. So some people, instead of trying to keep, muddy the waters with the same card, they would just use alternate cards.
Yes.
Depending on what network they were on.
All right, so shifting gears here to Midnight Amaretto. This is a pretty tricky 14. It's going to be in swing time. So a lot of 12th note gallops or 24th note gallops. Real hard to keep the MA in check here, especially if that's not your kind of thing. This was from a Dance Over crossover event, if I'm remembering correctly.
This song is from Dance Rush.
So 2 crossover songs so far. Looks like Peabody must have picked up a miss pretty early on, but it doesn't seem like they're having too much problems with these 12th notes.
Yeah, Peabody, he had to take a second to kind of lock in, and that's the thing about this song is that with it being in the swing time, on top of like sometimes the inconsistent sync with some of these crossover songs from Dance Rush, it's really hard to kind of lock in that timing on those. I know personally I have a lot of trouble locking in my timing on those 12 notes on this song.
I do think this is one of the trickier swing time 14s too.
Mm-hmm. All right, and RC1 did pick up a miss right at the jack section, but still maintaining a lead of about 20 points over Peabody right now. Peabody now fully locked in though, starting to see more white combo coming out of him.
All right, RC1 still with about a 20 EX lead or so over Peabody, but it's going to get even tougher as the song closes out here. Those 12th note jacks are so hard to hit accurately. But
right.
good job to both of them. Give it up for Team Michigan, Team New England for their first match face-off.
All right. RC1 locked in on that song. 30 fast, 32 slow. So.
Yeah, that was pretty good for something like that, for a chart like that. So it's really fun to see that across multiple events.
I love it. I love the camaraderie, the inclusiveness, because that's something that, you know, speaking as both of us being bloomers, that's something that wasn't present.
Right, we didn't have that option really.
Yeah.
And am I looking at this set correctly, Jamario?
You
What
are.
is this?
Honestly, so we're going to tell you the card draw, and then we're going to tell you who's playing. So the card draw of this one, it is very much an anything but expert card draw.
Oh,
Pluto,
man.
we have Pluto Relinquish Challenge,
An 18,
Saber Wing Headshot Challenge,
a 17,
and PSMO.
a 16.
I mean, PSM Challenge.
Wow.
PSMO, yes.
Wow.
So you say this and you're like, what is this nightmare? Well, I mean, to be fair, it's PacRob and HINTZ.
Yeah, I guess if you're going to break out the 18s, this is time to do it. But
You have PacRob, who is definitely someone who is, since one of the times I kind of saw him come back and start to take, you know, put more time into DDR and like his script and stuff, is now arguably one of like the top 10 DDR players in America, easily. We're starting to see him in top 8, top 4 in a lot of tournaments. Had a hell of a run at CEO Storm. And then we see Andrew HINTZ, who has for a very long time been a top DDR player, not
absolutely.
only in Michigan, but all over. And also top Step Maniacs player as well. As well as like one of the core TOs, him and MCAT.
oh, yeah, absolutely. They are repping the Michigan scene, running tons of events. They just put on Midsummer Medley. I keep saying medley. It's melody.
Melody, yes.
But anyways, we are about to start with an 18. Again, no one's had warm-ups. This is their first song of the day. Pluto Relinquish Challenge.
All right, chat. This is what we came for. We came for a show. Eyes open. Let's go.
I mean, it is spooky score season, so time to play 18s.
Yes. Happy Hawktober, everyone. We spooking on that thing. Let's go.
I think being forced to play Pluto Relinquish Challenge as my first song of the day is probably my worst nightmare.
I mean, both of these players are taking it in stride. They're within 2 points of each other.
Oh yeah, they are not struggling at all with this. Both of them very clearly know the song in and out.
Yeah, both of them have been playing for quite a long time, since the Supernova 2 era,
Oh, yes.
so they do know the song by the back of their hand.
And this was one of the hardest songs at the time. Hardest charts.
Supernova 2, it was the hardest chart in my opinion, around that time.
Yeah, depending on your skill sets, but it's definitely top 3. Between
All right.
this, Fax,
PacRob
maybe
up by
film.
15. We're about to get into the last runs.
Okay, yeah, we're going just straight into a 200 BPM 16th note run, or 400 BPM 8th note, however you want to look at it. So we'll see if their legs are warmed up for this. Ooh, PacRob picking up some misses there. Pin's trying to conserve some energy. But man, PacRob's going to take that win. That was a rough song to start with. Jeez.
Yeah. All right. Rob's going to take it. 1591, HINTZ, 1506. As you kind of saw at the end, he started to kind of bracket to conserve
Yes.
his energy at that point.
Because they still got 2 more songs to play. 2 hard songs to play.
Yeah, Saberwing Akira headshot remix, the challenge one. So you're still going to go into we're still living in stream.
Oh, yeah. I will say one thing that is beneficial on all these songs, being that they are all older, the length of the song is significantly shorter
Yes.
than most modern songs. So most songs are around the 2-minute range nowadays. These songs are closer to 1.5 minutes in length. So that helps a little bit when you're looking at the grand scheme of things of trying to maintain stamina over a whole set. But again, we are playing an 18, a 17, and a 16, so there's no making that any easier.
And at least compared to Relinquish, which is Relinquish, it's a full, actual, clear-cut 18. Akira Headshot is one of those songs that
depending, as you said before, it depends on your skill set. So if a specific type of stream, doing a stream at 200 BPM wrecks you, then you find this song obnoxious.
Sure. And this is pretty gimmicky. It also has notoriously late sync, which I don't think either of these players will struggle with since they know that very well. But it's still hard to hold yourself back when you're trying to hit those streams that fast.
All right, we take the first slowdown. All right, 3-point difference as we go into the speed up.
Yeah, both of them clearly very familiar with how this chart goes. Those step jumps are really difficult to execute well. Both of them nailed it.
All right, both of them still sitting on a gold combo. We are, Kim, we're 2 points with each other.
Oh my gosh. It's all going to come down to that ending run.
All right, chat, eyes open.
Here we go. Oh, I'm holding my breath.
Andrew picked up a miss on that the one turn.
Looks like PacRob kept a pretty solid lead there through that run, but that was so neck and neck up until that point. And PacRob's going to take the second win for that match win.
38 flat.
Wow.
61, 2 greats and 2 misses from Andrew.
I mean, those are a hell of a score. Both of them. Those are hell of scores
Yeah,
to pull off
that's
second
still
song of the
solid.
day.
Like being able to maintain, and as you kind of said, it's late, so like you could see that in there. You could see that in
Oh
the
yeah,
timing.
and you can see both of them with more fast and slows. It's so
Yeah,
hard to
30
hold
and
back.
8
through that.
and 49-14, but a 17 that like is pretty gimmicky. Like has a lot of like skips, crossover skips on top of that. That's hella impressive. Like no slouch.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so shout outs to both players. Shout out to PacRob for equalizing the score. 1-1, getting one on the board for Team New England.
All right, so who we got coming up next here for, is this our what
This is
match
gonna
number
be
is this?
number 3.
Number 3, okay.
So we are 1-1 on the side. New England just got their win with PacRob. All right, so we have Cardia and Kinfante. So this card draw, we have Cosmic Hurricane Challenge, Empathetic Expert, and Shakunetsu Part 2 Expert. Cardia coming all the way from Albany.
Cardia used to formerly go by Pure Blue. So if you all remember seeing that name in the past in some tournaments, they are now going by Cardia. Same person. Apparently they say that they are a fan of New Century Challenge, which is interesting because I don't know too many people that are a fan of that chart. I like the song, but the chart is...
You beat me to it. I was going to say that same exact thing. It's like, oh, that's a choice. No judgment, of course. Everyone has their own taste. Like, I like Awadori unironically.
Yeah, I don't.
I know where I stand.
All right, and then we have Kinfante from Michigan, of course. They're saying that his first large tournament was Midsummer Melody just a couple months ago, so they are pretty new to the tournament scene, it seems like.
Number 2, here we go.
And they are also a fan of Trim, which
That's a good song.
neither of them will be playing.
Don't you
but
shake your head, Rana. Trim is amazing.
All right, so we're jumping off here with Cosmic Hurricane Challenge. Of course, we can't warm up with anything of a 15 or less because we haven't all tournament. So this is their first song. And this is a very early chart, so that will wake them up, hopefully.
All right, Cardia ahead right now by about 4 EX. They're both sitting on a blue combo. Picked up their greats and they're good pretty early on.
Cosmic Hurricane is one of those silent sleeper songs. It's always way harder than I think it is. So it's a pretty tricky 15.
Cardia with about a 25-point lead right now. Kinfante doing a pretty good job of kind of like retouching back in on the timing. Ooh, especially right there. That drill was crisp.
Yeah.
Love to see it. Cardia picking up a miss and a great right there. But still has enough of a lead by about 9 points.
Oh, it is neck and neck right now.
Ooh, a miss right there. All right.
Let's see if they can hold on to the end here and keep that slight lead. Okay, we're going to have some gallop sections here. Pretty tricky to execute. Cardia still with a very slight lead. Okay, let's see if Cardia can hold on to that. And Cardia, oh, no, they lost at the very end. And I'm not sure if it's Kinfante. Is that maybe how you say his name? Kinfante's going to take the win on that song. That was really close up until the ending.
Yeah, as I was, as I kind of kept silent right there, I was just kind of noticing, like, so what's, what kind of happened right there? And I think just Cardia's foot placement was just off on some of those patterns.
Yes. And again, that's not an easy 15 to start the day with.
All right. So
like something like Empathetic, I feel like would be a much better warm-up song, at least if I was in their shoes.
A very ideal warm-up song, if I would actually say so. But Ken putting one on the board for Michigan. So far, every single one has been a 2-0. So in terms of how the scoring works for this one, wins count as 1/3 of a point. And, I'm being told otherwise. It's complicated nonetheless, but having a 2-0 gives you more points towards an overall total of your score.
All right, so moving on here to Empathetic. Pretty straightforward 14. It's going to come down to MA between these two competitors. Something I just noticed, though, on Kinfante, I'm still not sure if it's Kinfante or Kinfante, but
I'm going to say Kinfante.
He is playing with the combo in front of his arrows, so that's interesting compared with Cardia, who they have their combo behind arrows, which most people tend to play that way.
All right, shout out to Rana getting the correct complex scoring mechanism in the chat. Much appreciated. All right, Ken right now with about a 20-point lead over Cardia. Both of them still sitting on the full combo right now.
Yeah.
But Cardia doing an amazing job. Actually now down by 7.
Oh yeah,
they that back a lot.
Caught up quite a bit there.
Love to see it.
Seeing a lot of white on the screen. All right, Kinfante with the lead. We'll see if they can hold on to that through the end. The Cardia is not far behind at all. Some very crisp steps during those 16s.
Both of them dialed in, looking great. Cardia only still down by 7. We're about the end of the song.
Okay, and Kinfante holding on to that very crisp scoring through the end of the song, and it's going to take the second song win. But one great on Cardia's side, so they almost PFC'd that song in a tournament.
Love to see it. Shout out to Cardia. They did the damn thing, especially on that second song. I love seeing the sway. Like they were super consistent that every single time. Looks like we have CelAnima over on the P1 side. And then we have old Donk over on the P2 side.
All right. I'm excited for this card draw. This could be pretty good.
It's going to be spicy, I'm sure. Like, what if, like, the next card draw just happens to come down to, like, just 3 14s?
We'll see.
Like we're over here just like raving about like, yo, why is it giving nothing but like 16s and up? And
There's been a lot, like more 16s, I think, than anything else so far.
like the weighted distribution is like way more on this side. Oh my god.
Oh, is it Jucunda time?
Jucunda?
Is it? It's too early in the morning for Jucunda.
You can hear the audible groans from everyone in the audience.
It is too early.
Were you responsible for this?
Old Donk yelling across the room to RC1 asking, what do you play this on?
I mean, the BPM gimmicks are not the part of the song you have to worry about
Right.
if you're playing this on Expert.
Listen, any time before 11:59 p.m. is too early in the day to be playing Jucunda.
I mean, good thing it's 12:53. All right, your card draw. Jucunda, Super Samurai, and Haunted Maid Lunch.
Wow, we are just not letting... The card draw is brutal today.
Also, Konami, why is this still a 17?
This is a rough 17. Again, this is their warm-up. I'm going to keep saying that because I really want to drill in how incredibly absurd it is. We are starting with these songs for these players as first songs of the day.
This song has no business staying a 17.
All right, so this song, it's just hard throughout, but right in the middle of the song, it seems like it's going to kind of let up a bit, and then the song just goes all out and gets even harder somehow.
You have it's a break, air quotes, a break, and then a stream into a drill, into a burst drill. Mind you, all of this is at what, 290 BPM?
It is right around there, yes. Which I do have to give it to Akira, the artist for this song. Very different sounding song than you would normally hear in DDR. Whether that fits your taste or not, that is up to you, but it is a very distinct sounding song for a rhythm game.
All right, Cel still sitting on a full combo, looking pretty good. Donk, you can tell he's just kind of like, oh my god.
Yeah. So old Donk is an old school player. He might not know this chart. I would not be surprised if this is his first play of it or first of few plays of this. And this is not a song you want to sight read.
Because as I said, it's less about the gimmicks. It's more about the charts being technically difficult. As you see right here, you have the crossovers.
Oh, and those step jumps are real hard.
Yep, good call. Good call on both players.
All right. Yep, old Donk's going to let CelAnima have that one. That's all I can think of when I think of Jucunda. It's just those three notes.
Oh man, if I'm correct, chat, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't this originally from Gitadora? So when you listen to it with that and you listen to the drum patterns, you're like, okay, this checks out.
Right.
Why this song is obnoxious. And then Future Tom Tom. It's basically Taiko made into Gitadora, in my opinion. It's equally as obnoxious on that game.
I kind of forget that Future Tom Tom ever existed, so it's really funny to me when I find out a song is from Future Tom Tom, because then my brain goes through this whole somersault of, wait, what? What game? Oh yeah, that existed at one point.
All my homies have vague recollections of Future Tom Tom.
All right, so dialing it back a bit, but this is no easy 15. Super Samurai, being from the X era, a little, might I say, janky in the chart department. Got some box runs, some interesting stops, which if you're not ready for those can definitely trip you up near the beginning.
Interestingly enough, last night when I came in, I came in on the later side, got to stop by the arcade, say hi to everyone. Cel was actually playing this exact song.
Oh, really? So they are ready for this.
Very, very fresh in the mind.
Okay, looks like both of them are familiar with those stops at the beginning. I do feel like if this chart had come out later in DDR's lifespan, that this would be a 16, but that's just my opinion. I feel like this is a pretty tough 15.
Yeah, I remember that when this came out, it was kind of surprising to a lot of people because they weren't expecting this song to actually be as hard as it was. Because wasn't this, let's see.
X, DDRX.
This was X, okay.
Yeah. Got a couple more stops coming up here, so we'll see if both of them are ready for that. Okay, CelAnima still has a certain color combo still on their screen, which I'm not going to say what it is.
Ooh, I like that tag. I like the commentary tag.
And then those box runs are just really rough to be thrown in there. Actually, I don't know too many 15s that have box runs in them.
I mean, on top of being at about, this song is like 170. It's 170 BPM.
Is it I think it was a bit slower than that. But anyways, CelAnima is going to take that one pretty cleanly with a PFC. 31 perfect
31.
PFC. That's a pretty good show in second song of the day.
Yes,
Yep.
thank you. I was like, I don't think it was an X. It was in Hottest Party.
Oh, I just meant first arcade mix.
Yeah, I remember that just because when you played it on Hottest Party, it was like, oh yeah, there's no way this song is this hard. What is this song?
All right, we have the next card draw up. And Jack, guess what? We are still starting with a 15 or harder. This time, not Roppongi, that says Tokyo. Tokyo evolved Type 3, or 16 right off the bat, followed by New Decade Expert.
And Kanta, no Reflesia. So the song from Reflex.
Yes. So we're going 16, 17, 15 for difficulty.
Oh,
Oh, okay. So never mind. We are not doing Tokyo Type 3. That is being replaced with Fax Expert, the 17. So we are starting with an even harder chart because why not, right?
And in a rare double override, New Decade is Black Jackal.
Oh, okay. So we're just flip-flopping these difficulties, aren't we?
They looked at those and said, you know what I'm not going to do? That. And he was like, you know what I'm not going to do is that one.
So I have to imagine that Fax was probably Malkier's pick. I know Malkier is usually a little bit more uppers oriented, but I'm not positive on that.
Which is interesting considering that Malkier is one of those players that if you've ever heard the myth or if you ever had the thought when you're kind of starting playing DDR that you find a song that's really hard and you say, what if I just played this song over and over again until like I full combo? Malkier is one of those people.
Oh, absolutely.
They talk about how they have this misfortune of being always seated way higher than they should be because they have a couple of outrageous scores because they did that.
But they are still a very good player. Most notably, they have MFC'd the entire every beginner chart in the game.
Which is insane, dude.
All right, so we're going to get started right into it. Again, warming up with the 17. All right, I imagine both these players are pretty familiar with Fax, Fascination MAXX. We like to shorthand it to Fax. And both pretty clean runs on both of these so far.
Malkier picking up his first miss, but doing a good job of holding out onto it. Now both of them broke combo into the first slowdown. They're tied, though.
Oh, man. Still got a lot of song to go, but this is going pretty well so far for a first song of the day on both of them. Lots of gimmicks in this chart. The most gimmicky max chart of them all so far.
Malkier taking a lead right now. It's about 25 points, but that's fact. So there, we still have the next section, and then we have the end stream. So like that's anything. It's still anyone's game.
All right. So notably with this chart, it has what I like called green note syndrome at the end, where the notes are pretty much just green.
Yeah, Dan just goes. He's like, yeah, I'm cashed out. Malkier is gonna go ahead and finish this out.
I mean, malkier plays DDR pretty much every day of the week. They have infinite stamina, so warming up with a 17 is probably pretty normal for them, but not most people. But yeah, Malkier's going to take the win on that, and we are going to move on to Dan H's pick. He had replaced a card draw song of New Decade with Black Jackal.
All right, 4 misses from Malkier. Absolutely good play.
That's pretty insane for, again, first song on Fax, of all things.
All right, so Malkier, if Malkier wins this, Team Michigan wins the team battle. If Dan wins this, we're going to go. We're going to go to the final song, which will determine the outcome of the entire team battle.
And look at their scores on this. They are so close.
They are dead on. 7-point difference in favor of Dan. But for the sake of, I always like to say, if you are within 10 perfects of each other in a tournament, your scores are you're basically identical
Yes.
for the sake of, like, you know, skill.
Absolutely.
Skill. Right.
But Dan hoping he can hold on to that consistency and pull off a win on this. But this is going to be Battle of the MA. All right, Chad, give it up for your last match in this team matchup.
Here we go.
All right. Oh my God, I can't talk today. Black Jackal, that is how you say that word. From the first Ichika event. And it was a Dance Rush crossover. Both of them pretty dialed in here. Dan H with a little bit of a lead on his PB.
All right, 15-point lead in favor of Dan. Both of them still sitting on the PFC.
I didn't want to say it, so I can blame you if something goes wrong.
They're making our job easier right now because they are both crushing it. We're going to go into the next stream section right here.
Oh, that was crisp as heck.
Beautiful.
Dan H playing with the combo in front of arrows, I just noticed. Malkier just picked up an NG on that freeze.
Yeah, I think Malkier was ghost stepping a little bit too much and kind of lifted at the wrong time.
Yeah, Dan H looking real clean on this. Got a little bit of a crossover here coming up in the ending run. Oh, I don't want to say it, but I see a +6 on Dan H's side. +10? Is he going to do it? Is he going to beat his PB in a tournament? Did you see that? He was +11 on his PB in a tournament.
Hey, yo, chat.
10?
10! A 10-piece.
Wow.
Yo, bro, chill.
Maybe dodgeball does help.
I mean, good thing dodgeball season is like starting now.
That was a clean run.
Nuts.
All right, so we're going to the tiebreaker song, Kanata no Reflesia.
Winner takes all. So the winner of this will win the team battle.
Ooh, no pressure, right?
No pressure at all. That's a lie. The pressure is as high as it could ever be right now.
Ooh.
Big press. Chat, put up your spirit energy for your fave. Whether you want New England to take this, whether you want Michigan to take this, or you want both players to put out some dummy scores, let's show some love to them in the chat. Let's go. Eyes open.
So relax to those crisp sounds of on-sync steps.
Dan picking up a great right before the stream. Giving Malkier right now a 3-point lead.
Pretty clean MA from both of them. This is going to be a really close song, I have a feeling.
All right, Dan up by 2.
So neither of them having
Dan
any.
got picked up a miss right there.
Right as I was about to say, neither of them were struggling with those jacks.
So malkier with a 10-point lead.
Keeping this really tight. Malkier still with a slight lead.
Dan choosing to actually do the crossovers on that. Picked up a great right there.
Oh, Malkier's not up by much.
8-point difference. Here we go.
Oh, Malkier's going to take the win on that.
And Team Michigan squeezes it out with the W in the last song. Malkier with 33 and 2 greats.
Ooh, look at that MA from both of them, though. Dan H had
What?
some incredible MA on
Yeah,
his
Dan
side.
with 18 perfects and 7 greats. It's just the 3 goods, those misses.
Came down to the mistakes, yeah.
Those misses is what did it. But good games. GG's to both players.
All right.
Everybody, give it up for Team Michigan taking the W in the last song. Absolutely crazy. But also, give it up for Team New England coming all the way from the top corner of the United States to show some good arrow stomping, if I dare say, some good old arrow stomping.